Hello, Resurrection. It is Wednesday, the 1st of September, if you can believe that already. This is my weekly talk, and this is the Wednesday before our big kickoff to Christian formation, to Christian, to Sunday school at the Church of the Resurrection. So this Sunday, we will all come together for our meet in the middle, which so many of us are so glad to have that back again. The two services meet in between, in the middle of the two services. The 8 o'clock folks stay a little later. The 10:30 folks come a little earlier. We have a good breakfast. We just spend time together. There's a lot of laughing. There's a lot of coffee. There's a lot of breakfast, and we have a good time. Now, there's usually not any kind of program, and there's not much of one this time. We're just going to give you a 2-minute overview of the things we are planning for this fall's Christian education, Christian formation. I still call it Sunday school, right? Old habits die hard, but I think you know what I mean when I say Sunday school. So it was so nice last Sunday to have Charlie McLean back with us, our seminarian. I told you a few months ago that Charlie was going to be out for a while because he's doing what we call in seminary, we call it clinical pastoral education. And that basically means it's your chaplaincy that you do usually the summer in between your middler and senior year, which is exactly where Charlie did his. Charlie's a senior now, and they've already started classes, and the ball is rolling. So he will be with us pretty frequently as he can until December, at which time he will point toward graduation and the GOEs, the general ordination exams, which are, let me tell you what, those are no joke. It's like the bar for priests. The bar exam, that is, not the bar that you go to afterwards. So we'll keep Charlie in our prayers, and he's going to join us in some of our classes as well going into the fall. So just to give you a little teaser about what we've got going on, Elizabeth Nash, the director of Children's Ministries, has been working very hard. She and Susanna Bledsoe are offering two different, we don't call them classes for children with the Catechesis of the Good Shepherd. We call those atria. And in each atrium, they are divided into age specific curricula. Actually, the kids are going to go into the Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, one atrium for the youngers, one atrium for the olders. Susanna will be leading one, and Elizabeth will be leading another, and there will be times when she needs some help doing that. So if you're interested in that, let her know. Catechesis of the Good Shepherd is very involved. It takes very dedicated volunteers, but it sure is good. And we're pulling that off very well at Resurrection right now. I'm pleased with it. Another thing I'm pleased with is the youth group. So not having Sundays with the youth has been a real pain in George Baldwin's side for a year and a half now. So he's been doing what he can to do Wednesday night youth group, and that has primarily been community building sorts of things. And that's how George set it up from the beginning. Wednesday focuses on community building sort of things, and then Sunday morning focuses on soul building sort of things. That's when they get into the scriptures and they're really talking more about Christian ed, Christian formation, than they are about community building. And I think that model is going to work pretty well for George, and he sure is ready to get to it. And I know that the youth are as well. Then for adults, we're only going to be running 2 classes to start with. Well, no, that's not true. I think Byron is going to continue to do his Zoom class. You know that half of his folks are in the U.S. and half of his folks are in the Bahamas, and they come together for that Sunday school class on Sunday mornings, and I have never sat through it. I hear that it is a hoot and a half, and I'll bet it is, knowing Byron the way that I do. So Byron will be running his class separately, And then I am going to be team teaching with Brian Millis and with Dustin Bledsoe, a class that we're calling Christian Men. Now, don't mistake this class with a men's group. It is not the same thing. Now, a men's group may form out of that or alongside it or completely separately. I don't know. I'm certainly open to that. But this is not the men's group. This is a class, and I plan for it to be a group that is a long-term sort of group, ongoing class on Sunday mornings called Christian Men. And I think we are going to talk about just what it sounds like. We're going to talk about what it means to be a Christian and a man in society today. And I think there's a need for that. And I think a lot of people think there's a need for that. Whether you are a young single man, whether you are an older single man, whether you are married, newly married, whether you're married with children, whether you're married with grown kids, no matter what, we're going to come together and we're going to, I think we're going to develop. I don't want this to sound weird. It's not going to be weird. It's going to be positive. It's going to be uplifting. But we are going to talk about the code. I'm not going to call it the man code, but you know where I'm going. The code by which Christian men live, and we're going to develop that code together, and then we're going to stick to it. We're going to hold each other accountable for that. What I do not like in any kind of class, any kind of group, is forced sharing. This will not be that at all. I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable personally, and I know that you don't like it as well. This is not the place where we're going to come and you're expected to confess all your secrets. That's not what I'm after. I'm after us developing that code, talking through what it means to be a Christian man. Where do we find in the Bible what it means to be a Christian man? And then we'll do that. And I think that's something that the church, the Big C church, not just the Little C church, I think that's something that we need. Now, I'm also excited about the women's class. And Miss Pat, what are you calling the women's class? The women's class. I like it. That's great. So the women's class is going to be walking through a really great book that Pat has discovered only very recently, and it's called 50 Women That Every Christian Should Know. You don't read the book chronologically. You might do it thematically. It's up to you. Y'all will pick some and y'all will talk through them. And it's, of course it's got it's got all the famous the famous religious folks in it. Mother Teresa is in there, but Mahalia Jackson's in there. Let me tell you, any book with Mahalia Jackson in it is okay by me. It's got Lottie Moon. It's got Ruthie Graham. Billy Graham's wife is in there. All of these folks have a chapter. It sounds great to me. Now, what I don't want you to be thinking today is, oh my gosh, what about so-and-so class that I loved so much? What about the moms class? What about the moms group that was so important to us? Those things are not off the table. These classes that we're starting now are just that. They're starting places. And then if a group wants to splinter off, and that sounds terrible, right? That sounds like you're leaving. You're not leaving. But if a group wants to run a class parallel on Sunday mornings, if the moms, and we never did like that title, the moms class, because not everybody in it was a mom, and you certainly didn't have to be a mom to be in it. But if that group wants to run something parallel, we can do that. We'll all start together, and I think that this will evolve as we go. If a group of retired folks, if they want to peel off and do something parallel, they can certainly do that. We've done that kind of thing before, and I don't intend for that to go away. What will have to happen, though, if we do that, is somebody is going to have to take the initiative. And I guess I'm doing what priests are good at in saying that you need to do it. That if there is a need for something that you identify, take the initiative and start that. If the moms group wants to move, they have all the resources they need to do that, and they're planning to do it. They're just not planning to do it this particular Sunday. If you think, my goodness, we need a class about what happens after divorce, well, then you take the initiative on that and get a group together and do it. Yet, not only do you have my blessing, you have my encouragement on doing that. And I think we can put together some really exciting Christian ed by doing that. I think I'm more excited about Christian formation this year than I have been in my almost 6 years. Can you believe that? Almost 6 years at Resurrection. I'm excited about it. We'll kick it off during Meet in the Middle this very Sunday. You don't need to bring a thing. Just show up for church. We will celebrate the Holy Eucharist, which is our bounden duty and service. And then we will come together and we will have a meal together and we will talk about how we're going to study the Word, the two things Jesus insisted that we do. Study the Word, study the Scriptures, and celebrate the sacraments. And that's what we'll do. I'm excited about this program year, and I will see you this very Sunday.